Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host, A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of all that we do. We're going to have a great conversation today. Speaking of the culture. so, um, and what do we owe, or those with higher platforms, do they owe anything to the culture? So sit back, hang on, make sure you are tagging other people, let everybody know that the brothers are on. Let the world know that we are in the building. Also tonight at 8 p.m. We're having Purpose for Forever, so make sure you hang out with us, my wife and I, as we talk about our marriage journey and things that we have been learning along the way. All right, so again, make sure you share, stay connected. You know what to do. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick it off. We'll be right back right after this quick introduction. All right.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Hey.
Yo, I was about to say 3 times this morning, but you came on right on time, though. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning. Happy
Good
Monday,
morning,
everybody.
good morning.
It is the beginning of a work week. I just want y'all to know, Steel Pulse this week for me is gonna be reggae week. So Steel Pulse is a reggae band. Just y'all Google it. I'm gonna let y'all Google it, but they got some good music. So if you
Okay.
like reggae music,
Okay.
Steel Pulse, nice. Check it
As,
out.
as always, what is their hit song?
Now
Do
they
they
didn't
have?
have no real like radio hits. Now, if
Okay.
you into reggae music, those that who are in reggae music, they may know. But I mean, they was more of well, they older. They about our age, if not
Okay.
older.
Are
But
they
in the
like they
90s,
was Bob Marley level, or after?
no. I mean,
They're
they
not that
they
old.
they similar to Bob Marley music, but not his level.
Okay.
Not many that get to Bob Marley level. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's iconic worldwide. Steel Pulse may not be worldwide. Caribbean, maybe in the UK, America, of course, America, but I don't think you're gonna be hearing Steel Pulse in Japan or China, nothing like that. But you would hear Bob Marley in those places. You feel me?
All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sam in the building. Good
What up,
morning.
Sam?
All right. Sorry about the ringing. My phone that nobody knows the number to is always ringing. I still don't understand why.
Mm-hmm. You
Well,
forward that
have you
thing to
voted?
your cell phone, man.
All right. Speaking of voting, next tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. So make sure you get out and vote. Seems like we're getting a record turnout everywhere. Maybe because it's a tight race. You know, everybody's coming out, mama, daddy. So, and the lines are long, so be prepared to wait. At least in the areas I know, even my area, which is rarely ever a line. So be prepared for that. Bring your own water because you know they can't hand out water. So get in line, get in line. Be prepared to wait. All right, vote time, vote time. No matter who, do your thing. You know how we do. All right. So
No, it do matter who. It do matter who. I'm telling folks that it don't matter who.
don't
It
tell
do
them that
matter
line.
who. Yeah. Yeah.
Put my Dikembe Mutombo finger up.
Thank you. Yes. It do matter. It do matter who.
Okay. All right. So today, um, let's see. Today we're talking about, do we owe our culture? Do we owe the culture? And we're talking in reference to those who are known celebrities, have a platform. What do they owe the culture, or do they owe the culture?
Mhm.
You know, because sometimes, and I didn't mention this before we started. Um, Somebody could ride the wave of being black into their superstardom, you know, get known because of their being a minority in the space and things of that nature. And even in those instances, I'm trying to come up with a good example while I'm talking, and you may even think of one, like, do they owe anything to give back?
Hmm.
So today we're mostly focusing on, and this has been inspired by, I'll say it that way, the Deion Sanders, I don't want to say situation, but his promotion, going from Jackson State to Colorado, and everybody, if you've been on any level of social media, that his jump in pay has been tremendous. And most people feel, I won't say most people, some are feeling like he's turning his back on, and this is my definition of the culture, turning his back on the HBCU. He needs to stay there, I guess, for the next 30 years. I don't know what people are thinking. Like, and change the world from there. Others like, go ahead, my brother, get that money. And I've recently watched an interview, where he announced publicly that he was going to Colorado. And one of the things he says is he doesn't need the money. It's not about money. So we're not sure what it's about. Um, he didn't really get into all that. He's just letting everybody know, and kind of, because he was talking to his team. So he was kind of telling them next steps, and kind of telling them what to do and what not to do, and in certain terms where I didn't understand it totally, but of course they understand. Jumping in the portal, not sure what that meant. I guess leaving the school, or jumping out there because he's leaving, And he said, talk to him who got him. And I was thinking, like, yeah, that'd be a good idea, because if I had access, why wouldn't I? um, so for the culture's sake, like, are we, with our celebrities, when things happen, as we know, like in our time, like the Black Lives Matter movement back, some time ago, Michael Jordan caught some flack because, uh, who was he? He was helping somebody run. I can't remember the total situation, but his words were, "Well, Republicans buy sneakers too." Like, I'm not jumping in there because this may mess up my sales. That's my words, my interpretation. Samantha says, I think we owe our culture with being decent, upstanding citizens, being the best versions of ourselves, representing to the best of our abilities. Right. Right. So, Kadeem, do you feel like celebrities owe something back to the people, if a large majority of the people are Black people that support? Do you feel like they owe something back in terms of the decisions they make, standing up for causes and things of that nature?
Yes and no.
Okay.
That's a yes and a no, brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not because you done made it and you got to this. Now that you got financial freedom, now that you got this public platform that you can speak, I don't think it's your responsibility, or you got it out on your shoulders to take on the whole Black culture and speak for one, and speak for
Right.
all. I
Right.
don't
With
think
that too.
I don't think that's your responsibility. But on the flip side, just to give you some examples, Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley made it very known, and this was at the height of his basketball career. He made it very well known that I am not a role model.
I remember that.
And he let everybody know I'm not the one. I'm
Right.
not. I'm not gonna be the one that you should follow, because that ain't what I want.
Right.
And that was his choice.
Right.
Michael Jordan, when he was when George Bush Sr. was running for president. He was like, "What that got to do with me?" Well, you should speak up for Jesse. Jesse, speak up for Jesse Jackson. Well, I'm not speaking up for nobody.
Right.
I'm in the middle. I'm who I am. Everybody, like you said, Republicans buy sneakers too.
Right.
Republicans buy sneakers just like Democrats.
Right.
I'm speaking up for this dollar.
Right.
That's what he's
Right.
speaking up for. That was Michael Jordan. Well, you look at LeBron James.
Right.
LeBron James quick to get out there and be like, "Hey, it's wrong. I'm gonna
Right.
speak for black folks. I'm opening up black schools. I got the I Promise." He all into the culture.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
that's it. But that's not his responsibility. That's something in his heart. That's what he wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's because you make it to this stature that it's your obligation to take on the whole black community and culture because you got a camera and a microphone in your face. I don't think it's fair to the athlete or the entertainer, and I don't think we as black folks should put them on that pedestal.
Gotcha. That's good. That's good. How do you feel about that? What say you, Pastor?
About whether or not we owe in terms of it's a choice.
Okay.
It's a choice. I believe, I like what Samantha's statement is. What I owe is to be the best version of myself.
Right.
What I owe is to not be a burden to the culture. I grew up saying I don't want to be a burden. We know that we're burdensome to people because people care about us, but I don't want to be an unnecessary burden, an intentional burden to people. I don't want to be the black eye of my family, of my community. Right. But in terms of stepping out there and trying to take the hits for the community, to be the voice, I believe that's a call. That's a purpose. Right. I have to take it back to the scripture. Just for me, always. Paul said, "Oh, no man but to love him." Right. When you love, you have fulfilled the law and the commandments. That's what I believe. And so then it's a question of what does love look like? Then I want to look at the biblical definition. What does it mean to love? The Bible talks about the strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak. Right. So that when I'm weak, then am I made strong. Right. So I feel a responsibility to help my community. I feel a responsibility to help my family. Right. I feel a calling to be a voice. Right. Right. So is it a debt because I've become famous? Nah. Do I want to pull other people up to either get to where I am or to go further than I have gone? Nah. Yeah, I do want to do that, but I believe that's a calling, not an obligation.
Okay. Personally. I got you. Because I agree. I feel you. I feel like it is a choice. I know, just like every news report, every interview, if they're talking about one thing, everyone wants to slide, depending on who they're talking to, slide in. Like, so what do you think about this situation? And people have opinions. Sometimes people speak on things. I'm trying to remember what O.J. Simpson said during the height of their situation, when Jim Brown and all of them were kind of speaking out against things. I think he kind of took the middle road. I can't remember exactly what he said. But I know it wasn't, it was kind of first time OJ kind of went from that black player to that other player. oh, we thought he was us.
So. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. What is us?
Right. And so, because that's the thinking, right? Like, we don't all think the same. We don't all respond to things the same. But a lot of times,
somebody hit us. Somebody got us.
There we go. A lot of times, sometimes we're expected to speak out about stuff. Like even what's been the biggest thing? Not necessarily Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, that situation. And someone may not have wanted to respond about it. Like I don't know what happened in this. I don't know how they say, I don't know everything. I don't know the whole story. So I don't want to speak about it. Like I don't know. I know what we've seen, but we don't know the whole story. Situations like that. Should I be ostracized because I didn't jump in there? Because I didn't say something. How do you feel about Trayvon Martin? Well, I don't know the whole situation. I know what we heard. I know what we saw. You could be like, the losing of a life is horrible, but I don't know what caused it. You know what I'm saying? Like things of that nature. And should I be ostracized, canceled, for those moments when I don't step in to a space where people feel like I should step into? That's my main thing. Like, so Sam says we aren't all the same. We don't all have the same purpose or calling, right? If we get into what people say it will never. You're right. You're right. You're always paying. You'll always be paying.
Yeah, I'll say about the like prime time. Deion Sanders, man.
Right.
Like when he went to Jackson State, everybody was, doubting and wondering like, what can he do? And Deion ain't never coached nowhere, and he ain't never. What kind of experience do he have as a coach?
Right.
And his first year, he failed miserably.
Really?
But he didn't have no talent on his team. Second year, tremendous increase. Third year, another increase. You know what I'm saying? So this year, trying to win his second SWAC championship, I had to give it to him. He got better, but it was the people that he put around him that made him a better coach. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and with the NIL deal, that's what him bringing in other players from around the country because they're in this portal for college students. So him bringing in all these top tier talents, 5-star and 4-star players who would have went to Alabama or they would have went to USC or they would have went to Notre Dame, but instead they in Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
At Jackson State University.
It's not a sexy city.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mississippi, but yeah.
So like, for him to be able to recruit these 5-star and 4-star athletes,
right,
and get them NIL deals at Jackson, that was huge on his part. Gotcha. And now him leaving Jackson, and like you said, some folks is like, well, he should stay at the HBCU because of what he doing and all the black men that he helped bring and the way that he changing the perception of black college sports. I mean, he did that. Should he stay there like Eddie Robinson did at Grambling for 50 years? Should he stay there for 50 years like Eddie Robinson? Right. That might not have been his plan. Right. His plan might have been to put HBCU back on the map and say that, hey, you can go to HBCU, get your money in an NIL deal,
right,
and still go to the NFL.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna show you how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was his purpose. He did that. Yeah. Now I think that his next purpose is to see if he can go to a Division I school and a Power 5 conference and win a national championship.
Right.
With a college that's at the very bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
And been there for 25 or 30 years. Like, ain't nobody heard of Colorado since Cordell Stewart and Rashawn Salam. We talking about way back in the day now.
With like 90s.
Talking about, but those who follow college sports,
he won
like
90s.
Talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Like the 90s.
Definitely.
I'm just saying, throw the year up. Then oh, okay.
Definitely the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So just for that fact. Now, if he bring this Power Five school is at the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
If he can bring to national recognition
Right.
in his first or second year
Okay.
by doing this NIL, bringing those college 4-star, 5-star recruits from all over the country who would have went to Notre Dame or who
Right.
would have went to Michigan, who
Right.
would have went to Penn State. If he can bring them to Colorado, Boulder, Colorado. Now there ain't nothing fancy about Boulder, Colorado. I just want everybody to know. If he can bring these 5-star recruits to Boulder, Colorado,
Right.
and get on a national level,
Right.
he's done it again.
Gotcha.
So
That's interesting.
how has he disappointed? That's what I'd like to know. Because he says he proclaims to be a man of God.
Right.
Mhm.
He is proud to be a man, a father, a husband. He's proud to be a black man.
Mhm.
He's proud to be a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive back.
Greatest thing to put on cleats.
Cornerback.
He has been in an encouragement, and I'll say this: he's not new to coaching because Deion Sanders has been coaching long before he even retired from the NFL. He's been coaching young backs, rookies, people coming in. He's been coaching young children. You know, football is his life, which means he's been coaching a long time. And putting his name on a roster as a head coach does not mean that's the day he started coaching. That man been coaching a long time.
Right.
Okay.
His coaching has just evolved
Right.
and expanded and increased and hit new territories. How many people in the culture who go to our churches have ever prayed the prayer of Jabez?
Right. Right.
Enlarge my territory.
Right.
Right.
It
wasn't make me famous. What I see is his territory enlarging. What I see is a man who has been giving back since as far back as I can remember. Right.
Yeah.
What I see is a man who preaches the gospel.
Right.
What I see is a man who encourages his community, gives back to his community. Half his salary went to giving back to his community. What I see is a man who's purpose driven.
Right.
That's what I see. I see a man who said, let me bring some attention to this area over here. Let me allow my celebrity and my experience to bring some attention over here. And to Kaneem's point, he did that. Now he says, wow, what happens if I can take this same strategy to an even broader, more resourceful environment where I have access to better equipment. I've got access to larger rooms. I've got access to more funding. I can do even more.
Right.
Yeah.
So how is he? I mean, to me, that is properly representing the quote unquote culture. You're continuing to grow and expand.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And he has to have his own opportunities. I think people just want you to do it the way they want you to do it. And I've been trying really hard not to disrespect Eddie Robinson because I was thinking about him. And I don't want to dilute. I don't want to take away from the 50 years that he was head coach at a Grambling State, and the impact he made.
Okay.
But what Deion Sanders did in them 3 years, and Grambling don't come for me.
You know they here.
Them three, let me leave that alone. Them 3 years.
No, go ahead.
Them 3 years are very impactful.
Okay.
Those 3 years, Deion's 3 years,
Right.
brought 60 minutes, a new field. Walmart can just come in existence. He got Walmart to donate a field.
Right.
All right. I was a part of a high school when I graduated. It was about 30, maybe 35 something years old.
Right.
One of the guys on my team made it big in the league, came back and donated a field. We never had a field, right?
Wow.
This is obviously a black school, right?
Right.
So we never had a field. So he did it a few years after he made to the league. So let's say in 40 years, one player came back and got a field that people have been playing on ever since. For let's say since they've been playing on that field since 08 or something, right?
Right.
So one person can make a huge impact, a huge difference, a huge deal. And Deion did some stuff that a lot of long-standing coaches, I'm telling you, I don't want to be unfair, But just on the stick up on Deion's part, what more can the man do? You know what I'm saying? Like he has made the impact on lives that were the current lives and lives to come.
Right.
Alma mater, the alumni get to come back and be proud to see their school take it
Yeah.
up another level. Deion did that for y'all. Them the
Right.
coaches now, up and coming coaches say, "Oh, I can go to HBCU and still get a power top 25 job." I didn't know it was possible
Right.
because I was looking at Eddie and he was there for 50 years. So I didn't think I had a shot. So let me go over here, head coach something like Deion did, win a
Right.
title, and then say, "Hey, Arizona, hey, you know, NC State. I mean, whoever you want to, because some teams have they have the name, but they're not like that school.
Yeah.
Now you
Perennial.
got a staff that
Yeah.
includes historically black colleges.
Right.
So now, Flores from the Dolphins, who got fired and didn't have a place, now he got an option to say maybe I should go to FAMU,
Right.
dominate for about 3 years,
Right.
guarantee these mamas, these fathers, these kids that you're gonna get NFL attention from an NFL staff.
Right.
I'm gonna do the Dion model.
Right. Right.
He's been doing this his whole life. No, every cornerback, there's no cornerback that exists today that does not have some type of desire to copy Dion, talk like Dion, swag like Dion. Anything, even the tribute to the number 21, 21 reasons. Whatever you want to call it. He has his impact on the game just doesn't seem to stop. Like this man has
Right.
retired. I don't know what it was, play for the Redskins or something, maybe 2010. I don't know when the last time Dion played, but this man, ever since he ran that 4-1 in them pads, this man has not stopped being front center stage. People watch his shows, listen
Right.
to his podcast. He got his son on all the social media stuff. Like
Right.
Dion's just doing this, and in my opinion, now people don't think humble goes with Dion. I do think Dion humble. He's
Yeah.
confident,
Yeah. He's
but
confident.
I think he's kind of aware of how fortunate he is. That's what I think. That's why I think Dion's humble. And
I got you.
we want to see people do things the way that they've done it, and they didn't do 50 years like Eddie Robinson did, and they ain't doing right, and he ain't swag. He, the people just did not receive this man. So Dion, despite all that, he's still going forward being himself. And I saw the opening speech to the team. He not taking it easy on them either.
Right.
He was telling boys who were injured. A young guy asked, "What happened to the injured players?" He said, "If the coaching staff tell me you ain't got it, we appreciate your time. Next question." Like this man, he ain't playing no games.
Right.
He's
Right.
going there. He's going to make a difference. He's going to make an impact. And I think we should root for this man and see him do well because it continues to open the door for somebody else. Is all I'm saying.
Right.
I got you. But so in his case, I mean, like he's kind of set things up. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done things to set things up. But kind of back in the original question, does the motive really matter? Like if he just wants to go like, hey, 5 mil so I can have for my legacy, like just it was an opportunity to try something different. Now I'm gonna go to Colorado, do my thing. My goal is to be an NFL coach. You know what I'm saying? Like this, say his speech was just all about him. There's like Kareem open up in the flash. Like this is about me making it happen. I'm a winner. Everywhere I go, everybody wins. Like this is about the Deion Sanders legacy. Bump all the culture stuff.
Win, no matter
Right. No matter what.
It's far, the motivation and the culture. The motivation. I mean, everybody's motivated, right? Every tub got to. That sounds so old, Jesus. Everybody got to hold down their own thing, right?
Right.
So your motivation. You get out your bed to feed your kids. I get out my bed to feed my kids, and Kareem want to start the Ferrari up. I mean, who cares? He got out of bed, right?
Right.
So your personal motivation.
If folks gonna come looking for me, you keep
Right.
on
I know you got it. I can smell the money over there. So these people have their own personal motivation. That's fine. But as far as owning the culture, I think he's paying the culture as he goes. That's the thing. You can represent the culture individually, I believe.
Okay.
I think there's a time where collectively we need to do things together. Y'all know I love group economics. I'll pitch in on a gas on the car. I like it. Like I just think it's smarter to work together.
Right.
But as
Right.
far as for the culture, as you go represent at y'all individual places of employments and your own businesses, y'all representing the culture. There goes a nice young man who got a podcast. Man, that, you see how you doing? All that's for the culture.
Right.
So you don't. It's hard to say what you owe somebody. Y'all know I'm for the reparations. That's who owes. You feel me? The government owes. Y'all owe us a debt that you didn't pay. But as
Right.
far as who put that stamp on you? Who's regulating? My reparations plan got so much regulations and litigation. Like you got to prove cases. You're gonna bring up lynching. Like we would present a case to say
Right.
this is why you owe.
This
I
is why
wouldn't go out to Washington and say, well, y'all know what y'all did. It's not that's nothing. You got to quantify something, man. So
Right.
all I'm saying is you if you can't I can't regulate that. Because AD might say, nah, you owe the culture 10 more years. Come back to the hood. I don't care who no
You
that one house you flip, that's not enough. You
Right.
got to flip 5. McCord might say, but you did all you could do. You
Right.
like you raised good kids. You don't even got to flip the house. So that's what I'm saying. It's if I play the who owe the culture game, I don't know how it's regulated. There's no
Right.
official standard. There's no
Right.
And
line
that's
that
why
says
we
it's
have to be
enough.
very careful about what we put on people.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to be very careful. And even going back to your point about Eddie Robinson, you talk about the
Shout out to
50
Eddie.
years, and the reality is, who can measure what that man has seeded in 50 years?
Right.
There's multiple generations of seeding.
Right.
Yeah.
We have no idea that harvest. The Bible says one can set 1,000 to flight, 2 10,000. Right. So for every believer, you have no idea the extent or the magnitude of the impact that an Eddie Robinson has had. Right. And so for me, I'm like, you know what? I love what Deion Sanders did in 3 years.
Right.
I marvel at it.
Marvel.
But I equally marvel at what Eddie Robinson did in 50 years.
Right.
Both of them are great men.
Right.
Right. We just can't measure seasons, and we shouldn't compare
Right.
because a man is measured based on where he started.
Yeah.
Right. Not based on what his neighbor did. Right. And so so because I don't know what drove Eddie Robinson any more than I know what's driving Deion Sanders.
You said something.
Right.
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 That's why we have to be careful in our narrative, in our perspective, how we look at things, how we evaluate things, how we judge people's accomplishments. Because to say, like, one thing that I've learned is in our culture, we love people in a lot of cases for what they can provide for us.
Yep.
And
Right.
when the provision changes,
Yes.
so does the relationship.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
How dare they?
Right. We will crucify someone because they're no longer
Available
making
to us.
provisions available to us.
My God.
And it no longer matters what you have provided historically.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that matters is that now you've shifted.
Right.
Right.
Pastor, you said something. You messing with me here too, and I promise I'm gonna get off Eddie Robinson. But that's the thing. How y'all getting on Deion? Well, not y'all. The understood y'all. The general y'all getting on Deion
Yes.
for only spending 3 years. How many head coaches missed out on the job because Eddie stood there for 50 years?
Right.
Let me just one quick church thing, and I'll get right back on this. What we're talking about.
Uh-oh.
If you got KC Price, Hilliard,
Okay.
G. Patterson,
Uh-huh.
Eddie Long,
Uh-huh.
Charles Blake, 5 mega churches that I know of. Them the only ones who were able to transition to a new pastor. And only New Birth is the only one that wasn't like family. You know what I'm saying? We transition in the black community ain't smooth. In April, I was at an event in Memphis and Jesse Jackson came in. Nah, I'm coming for everybody, man. But let's say it wasn't Jesse. You feel me? It wasn't
Right.
Rainbow Coalition Jesse. He wasn't himself, huh? That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. He wasn't the one from a different world. He wasn't sharp. But I'm
Okay.
looking like, dang, when we gonna tell Jesse, hey, you know you can fall back. We got this. But we don't
Right.
do that. It's no
Right.
transition with us, bro. You stay here. Pastor McCoy, you own it. You stay here and give us what you've been giving us until you drop dead.
Mm.
Don't leave from here. Are we gonna talk
Right.
about you? I don't care.
Right.
You walk with Martin. I don't care nothing about no getting hit over the head. You serve this black community because that's what you owe us. You owe us your life. I don't want to hear about no vacation. I don't want to hear about no elevation to no Colorado. I don't
Right.
want to hear about you doing better or pursuing your dreams. I don't even want to see you on another level that would be beneficial to me. I want you right here, accessible, shaking, almost about to fall. They had Ali up there with the torch about to fall down. I'm looking like, come on, man.
Oh, I
Like
remember that.
you.
I
I don't want
remember
to
that.
see.
Jeez.
It's a line from Batman that said either you, and of course I'm gonna kill it, but you stay you turn you something like you stay long enough to be the hero. You leave soon enough to be the hero, or you stay long enough to see yourself turn to the villain. I don't
Wow.
want to see Muhammad Ali, you feel me? Like that guy, I don't want to see him in a weakened state, man. I'm not saying people can't be transparent, but I'm saying we parading around these leaders, they still got the same spot with the same obligation to us. You know, Jesse's still trucking, and I did not laugh in the service because I'm not picking at this man's condition, but I'm looking at the fact that we still got him as a prevalent, prominent leader out there in
Right.
front of folk. You feel me? And he snuck into the setting. Nobody ain't really know he was gonna be there that night. Of course, they let him speak. But I'm looking like
Okay.
my butt can't even hold itself up good no more.
Right.
Like let that soldier take a rest, man.
Well,
I
I
ain't
think
saying
there's something to that though, right?
This is good. This is good.
There's more to that. There's someone sitting out there in that audience saying, "Before I die, I hope one day I get to hear or see Jesse Jackson
true.
in the flesh." And that night, it happened. It might have been an elder Jesse Jackson. It might have been a feeble Jesse Jackson, but they got it. They got the experience,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
But I understand your point. This is what I would say. You shouldn't have to hold the microphone all the way to the coffin.
Right. Right.
That's the reality,
Right.
right? And
No.
so I like what Sean Rollins said about Deion. Deion's mindset: elevate versus being pushed out.
Right. That's good.
Right? That's what I love about his nickname, Prime.
I'm just going.
He knows how to leverage his prime.
Right.
Yeah.
At the right moment, he shifted, right? And I'm not saying like you can't tell me it's because he saw an impending storm coming. I have no idea.
No.
What we see is an opportunity that has presented himself for him to go to get bigger, to expand, not more famous, because he can't get more famous than what he is.
Not even
right?
more rich. He got the money.
And you can't talk about the money because
No.
he has clearly proven he's not chasing a bag.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's chasing opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. He knew he wasn't going to make any money at an HBCU, so of course he's going to donate. No.
Mm-mm.
Give me $300,000 and watch me take all 300.
Right.
Yeah, he's setting an example, and then he also helped the school. Who gonna go in there and ask for more money than Prime?
Right.
Oh, I ain't pay Deion that money. Like, you know what I'm saying? He continues to help.
Yeah. Yeah. This is good. So Sam says, right, because folks are selfish and narrow-minded.
Can be.
Selfish or
And they don't
narrow-minded.
grow. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate y'all gift. I want to use the gift. I want to see, but when do I grow up? When do I step up and do what you've been doing for me? When do I step up and I can pray for my own self? Why you got to call the pastor at 2:00 in the morning all the time because you see little demons in the corner? Like you pray them out. You know what I'm saying? Like where's the growth?
Right.
When all these folk that's giving back, what y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, let this man go and do his thing because he still represents us no matter where he goes. Y'all can see that Deion represents us just like somebody acting a fool in Walmart represent us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna get a kudos or a black eye either way. We all still connected, but we just not all
That's
the same.
the other piece. When you start thinking about, and again, I don't like putting names out there any more than you do, but you also have people. When you talk about culture, you have people that look like you, and you're frustrated because they are representing the opposite of what you believe should be represented regarding your culture. Right. You start hollering those names out. People mad at Kanye West. People were mad at Raven Simone, who says she's, for all intents and purposes, without color.
Yeah.
Right.
She was an alien at one point too.
Say it again.
I think she was like an alien at one point too. She wasn't claiming to be human. No, I'm dead serious. Bro.
There are people who come from us and when I say us, we're talking about the culture, because I don't even look at it like that. Not really. I'm proud to be a Black man. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of all of those things. And I live my life looking to make sure that I make my mother proud. I feel like if I owe anybody, I owe my mother, I owe my wife, I owe my children. But you think about those people, you think about the people who don't necessarily represent what is required of the culture.
Right.
Who sets the rules?
Right.
How many people got mad at what's that actress name?
Zoe
Saldana. The other one, the other actress, Stacey Dash, who is on Fox. Who was on Fox?
She want a card back. She put an application in for a card back.
Looking to get back into the culture, right? Lil Wayne said he never experienced racism.
Yep.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're gonna criticize Deion Sanders for doing great things because he shifted, because he elevated. Come on now. We have to be real. We have to be fair. That's why you have to go back. I feel like you got to go back to the scripture, man. What do we really owe? Right. Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm obligated to do. I'm obligated to tell somebody about Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Let me ask this. So that's a good kind of segue. But when it comes to the Kanye West, the Stacey Dash, the Lil Waynes, who seem like he always high. Every time he talks, he seems like he on something, but maybe just who he is. Forgive me if I'm making fun of a disability or something. But when we look, like, it's kind of like, when we used to watch, everyone watched Cops at one point, and you were like, oh man, don't be black, don't be black, don't be black.
Yeah.
Don't be black. Somebody get arrested. Don't be black. Don't be black. Do you feel like it's that representation? It's that representation of people that kind of look like us. And you feel like, oh man, you're making us look bad. But can we separate, like, that's just them? Can we not take it so hard? I mean, I guess we think about it because other people outside the culture is looking in, and we feel like, oh, they're making us look bad. Like someone gets a high stature in a prominent position and they do some corrupt nonsense. You just like, what you doing? You're making it harder for us. Like, I didn't, like, my man from remember Katrina, the mayor.
Ray.
Right. And I was wondering what had happened to him, but obviously I realized he had been doling out money, being corrupt. Like, just being corrupt. Because he was like, you was on the platform, like you was in the middle of the storm, looked like you was fighting the storm yourself. Like, yo, you had every political ad to look amazing. Like, you could have went for to be president, at that point. Like, but and you're like, oh, you're making us look bad.
Do
you take it on personally, Kadeem?
No, I mean, do I? No, I don't take it personally at all. You know what I'm saying? Myself. But when you bring up Ray Nagin, and you can bring up Bill Campbell, and you can bring up a whole lot of other politicians.
My boy in Detroit.
Oh
yeah, Kwame.
Kwame.
Was it Kwame? Yeah.
You can say Kwame.
I mean, it's a lot of folks you can bring up as far as black folks who had power as
Mhm.
politicians that squandered it, you know what I'm saying, didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I would put more onus on them than I would an entertainer because they was elected by the people, you know what
By
I'm
the people.
saying? The
Right.
They
people
owe
that
the people.
requested them.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
They
But
owe
The
but but
people,
but what bruh saying real talk, because like then okay, then you can slide into ownership because you can slide into something measurable.
right.
They got polls. I mean, and then maybe you don't want to consider that official, but they got polls that say your approval rate. You feel me? Like I can slide into your policies. I can see how you voted. Like there's some kind of way to say he was effective, he wasn't effective. She did right, she did wrong. You get what I'm saying? But when you talk
yeah,
about like how do you judge a football coach outside of wins? You get what I'm saying? Like I don't. It's not measurable enough for the coach. And then
yeah,
these folks, bro, talking about like I, it's not always just black for me too. Like if I went over there and I'll go outside right now, I see a white man beating on his woman. I'm gonna look like, damn, but you letting men down. They don't, you know, like Pat say, they the weaker vessel. So you know what I'm saying? I don't want to whoop them. You feel what I'm saying? You making men look bad. But yeah, I could easily say that's a bad look and then slide off and understand that that's not me. He doesn't directly represent me and how I choose to get down. But yeah, I can feel that in my gender. I can
Can
feel
I
that.
ask you all a question? You are walking down the street
Okay.
and you see some youngsters
Okay.
misbehaving.
Okay.
Mm. Okay.
What do you do?
Children or teens?
Does it matter?
oh, it matters.
Is it
No,
raining?
I'm asking you, does it? I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying, does it matter?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
Oh yeah.
yes,
Does it?
Oh yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
If
matters.
your approach
Yes,
has to
it
change,
does.
then it matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Because how I
So
talk to some toddlers is gonna be different.
watch this. I love that answer because you're right. It does matter.
Right.
And so whether if they're younger,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably going to be more incented to say something.
Right.
If they're teenagers, you're going to be more cautious because you don't know what you're walking into, right? Someone witnesses you walk past teenagers because you're like, you know what? No, those are real knuckleheads. My comments won't make a difference here. Someone witnesses that and says, you just robbed the culture. Why would you do it over here and not over there? My point is exactly that. I can't know your mind. I can't know what risk you're mitigating.
Right.
I can't know the level of motivation that you have.
Right.
But what I do know is what I've seen.
Right.
So if I'm going to go off of what I've seen in Deion Sanders is enough to where I'm not going to question his decisions.
Yeah. I wish
That's
I
what
could.
I've learned, right? When you talk about, getting the money, when you talk about, the what happened in with New Orleans, with Katrina, what happened with Bill Campbell, what happened with Kwame, what happened with all of these leaders that you're talking about.
Right.
Not everyone is equipped morally, character-wise, to carry that extra weight.
Right.
To whom much is given, much is required. And what you learn is that a lot of people are jumping in waters in which they cannot swim in.
Right.
Real talk. Yeah.
Right.
Help us not to make the wrong decision.
Right. But again, that's why, they say the black community is the most forgiving community on the planet. Is it?
Not the black folk.
We can't. Yeah.
We won't forgive us.
We
We ain't gonna let it slide. You feel me? I got an uncle owe me $5 today. You feel me?
Think
He gonna
about,
run me my
what
money.
you said. Think about what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Because we said we got to be hard on each other,
That's what we say.
right? But the confusion is for the generations watching us. If you're going to be this hard on yourselves, why aren't you this hard on someone who looks different when they come at you?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I don't see you saying the same thing to other folks when they jumping around from place to place. Oh, that don't matter for the culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Just thought, food for
Makes
thought.
sense. So
And it's only an elevation. If he would have went to another HBCU, they would be like, "Oh, Deion he gonna change the whole game. He's just go to all the HBCUs."
Nah, he's going to be considered a traitor.
Ooh.
If he would have went to another HBCU, you think so?
Right.
So no matter anything going forward, yeah.
The fact that
Other
he's
than
leaving
staying.
Jackson State, he's a problem because he's leaving Jackson State. Because what happens is, we nail you in,
Yeah.
You're supposed to
we
do
box
that.
you in.
This is
We
what
do.
you do from now on. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all you do. That's all
Man
you
that
do.
played 2 sports, an announcer, commentator,
His
man
life
that
has
keep on
proven.
doing something
His life
different.
has proven he knows how to shift.
Yes. Yes.
But not
It's proven
yeah.
that he's multifaceted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So forget what
Right.
you do. It's based on how we see you. Yeah. So
Right.
once we
They
assign
don't
you that
need you.
role,
They don't need you over there. Well, there may be some of us over there who need him.
yeah,
Right.
and they do need him because now, and that's the funny. And look. Okay, Jackson State. Well, it wasn't known to the world before Deion, but it's one of our more known HBCUs, right? He took it and made it a way different program. He's gonna go to Colorado, who is like Kaneem said, at the bottom naturally. So like they at the bottom, but when Deion gonna have way more money, 10 times the facilities, he gonna have way more support to do what he
That's so
wants to get
crazy.
done.
That's so
They're
crazy.
worse. I wish I could, bro. I would have done research on. If I could show you the disparity, their worst is 10 times better than our best.
Right. So
Like
if I can
they're
bring some of our young men over here
Right.
and
Yeah.
get them into these great facilities
yeah.
and convince people, because look at my son. If Shedeur Sanders ends up in Colorado and balls out,
Right.
Yeah.
come on, man. Because people say, well, he could do that because he's at an HBCU. The competition isn't the same.
Right.
Or how about he could do that because he's just a great athlete?
Right.
And I'm going to put him in some bigger waters, because the only thing that changes is the number of people in the stands.
Yeah.
The game is still the game.
I think a win. I'm curious what y'all think. What's a win for Deion? Colorado being ranked in the top 25.
He's already won, man.
Is it national championship or
I
nothing?
think he
Oh,
got
if they get ranked, that's a win.
If they get ranked, okay.
They ain't been ranked in 10 years.
If they number
If they
25,
win 3 games, that's a win, because they only won 1.
yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
Okay.
if they get nationally ranked, that's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can go to any other, because I'm thinking he's trying to get to Florida State. That's
Really?
what I'm thinking.
I think Deion Sanders getting
that's
hired
gonna give
in
him-
Colorado is a
He got to wait for that boy at Florida State to get fired, and Dion going back to where he come from.
I
Florida
like
State.
the Florida State move.
He going back to where he come. If
That's
he get to
full circle.
Florida State, he'll stay there like Nick Saban stayed at Alabama.
Yeah. That's full circle there. I like that.
Now, you want to talk about somebody that feels a little odd right now? Nick Saban.
That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a championship this year.
Second time in a row. Yeah. And then the whole controversy with him and Nick, I was cooler with that than I am the black people that's hating on Deion right now. So him and Nick Saban in the same state. Deion, for those who don't know, recruiting in college is huge. It's bigger than the draft. You can look up better in the draft than you can, but when you recruit and you get the very best, they even rank the order of your recruiting class, right? Alabama's always top.
Top five.
Georgia's top. I think Florida
Top five.
State's always 10. Ohio State, like these big boys, the top 10, they
the top
always
recruit.
get the best of the best. Back
Okay.
in the day, all Florida kids stayed in Florida, and Miami and Florida Gators and Florida State was like just phenomenal, best thing you ever seen, right?
Gotcha.
Shout out to Nebraska and USC and a couple of those other schools. But Deion changed all that.
Okay.
He got the number one guy, but it's the attention. It's the fact that this school, Jackson State, is in the conversation when these coaches, Nick Saban going down there on a visit and saying, yeah, coach, I'm thinking about you or Jackson State, but I'll get back to you. Jackson, what you mean, Deion? Are you serious? Like he upset the status quo, and he ruffled a lot of white feathers, and it was cooler for me than the heat he's catching now.
Right.
Not for leaving Jackson State or, like Sean said, getting pushed out or some scandal. He's sleeping with all the staff. Nothing crazy like that. But just for doing better for himself. But him fighting with Nick Saban, all that, I was good with all that because Nick Saban is the status quo. He's legendary. You know what I'm saying? So he is that guy. But he had no real competition. And for you to bring it to his backyard, it really upset him. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
You said upset him or it really exposed him.
Nick really been showing his behind as of lately, man. Nick kind of coming out of character a little bit.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah, man.
Or he's revealing his true character.
All
Yeah.
right. So, I wanted to break it down a little more, but that was my fault. I was late to my meeting. So tomorrow I want to talk about. Shout out to Kadeem.
Acknowledge your shortcomings.
I want to talk about the cancel culture. Can we forgive what's been done in the past? Can we forgive what's been done in the past? Can we let it go?
They still ain't let Jesse go. Jesse Jackson, he still looked at as you threw it all away, Jesse. You let that little piece of tail throw it all away, Jesse. Why? If
We
you
can't
wanted to change
forgive?
that tail, you could have stayed on
We
top.
can't forgive everybody. Come on, in the comments, y'all can't forgive Jesse.
I
Come
mean,
on, Jesse.
For what?
Come on.
Just let that tail throw his whole career away.
and bro, when we get at it, we got to just think about like the different people that we doing too. Like, is the standard different for the elected official than it is for Shaq? If I,
It is. I think it got to be.
Bill Cosby didn't get elected by nobody. Is he canceled? You get what I'm saying? So it's just the fact that it's unmeasurable that messed me up. So if
Yeah.
I can't measure it, how can I repair it? How can I fix it? So how many black
Yeah.
people did forgive Jesse? 50%? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? How many black folks think OJ did it?
Jesse for what?
Oh, his infidelity.
His infidelity.
When he had the
He
baby.
did the infidelity. His son stole money to Ryan Watson. I mean,
Oh,
I don't want to call out the man business now, but he was up to some stuff.
Jesse got, oh man, I'm gonna try to tell you. I want to say,
Because I know,
it's
like,
just- if you think about it, the entertainer
Yeah.
and the politician.
All right.
So the entertainment for culture
Yeah.
and the politics of culture.
Right.
If you tarnished in the politics of culture, the people chose you. In the
Okay.
entertainment, you was thrust on the people. It's not that they chose you.
Yeah.
You are put on them. You know what I'm saying? Your
Does it
talent
make a
is.
difference when you find out?
Say again.
Does it make a difference when
make
you
a difference
find
when you
out what
find
they
out?
did? Does it make a difference that you grabbing them by whatever you want to grab them by before you vote for them or after you vote for them? Like, does it make a difference for you
Does it make a difference?
when you find out that they did what they did?
It makes a difference both ways. Where if I find out that you grabbed them before you, and I still give you my vote,
Okay.
that's something that I got to live with. But after I've given you my vote and come to find out that you have violated somebody, then I'm upset that I ain't know that. I wish I would have known that. I ain't have.
Well, I got okay. But I got a question. I got a question. Hold on. I got a question. Hold on. Before you go, I got a question. So, what if, right?
Okay.
Me and my coalition of politicians, right, are in favor and pushing things like reparations and a lot of cultural favorable stuff,
Right.
But our character is not of the right light. Is it about my job or is it about my personal life?
That's where I was going, bro.
Is your personal life public though?
You said
but
what?
the thing is, but
Is
either
your
way, it's
personal
still a
life
character
public?
question.
Yes, it is.
Your personal life is public.
It's all the splash on the Inquirer.
I already know.
TMZ
How you
got
gonna
pictures.
represent me in your personal and your personal life and the fact that you trying to represent us for reparations, they're not gonna match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I already know your personal life is less than what you're trying to accomplish, why would I even let you represent me?
Well, what?
If I
Okay,
know
so
your
hold on.
Well,
personal life.
so hold on a second here. Let's deal with that, because what I've learned, everybody comes from somewhere. Would you want this version of Deion Sanders, or would you want the version of Deion Sanders that played for the Atlanta Falcons? Right?
Him, Michael Irvin, I don't want none of them boys. Not in
I'm
their
just saying,
prime.
but what I'm saying is, when you go back to an earlier version of Deion, that's not the person I want encouraging my child
Right.
on man stuff.
Right.
You gotta remember he was a child back then, though.
All I'm saying, but
Right,
still, he
if I
was
got
famous.
somebody to represent me
Right.
for reparations, I don't want no child. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
I got
Is your personal life public?
right. I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you because you said something specific. You said representing me for reparations. Right.
But that's what we was talking about.
Right. I'm saying
I'm gonna do the job though. I'm
That's
charismatic.
but that's the question.
Well,
That's
how
what
you
I'm
gonna
saying.
do the job if
I
I don't
get
want
the
you to
vote.
represent me?
But
I'm
that's
in
the
the
question
position.
is the job.
well, here's
the
the
job.
question. Like what people don't understand is, since when have I committed that Deion Sanders represents me? Since when have I said Jesse Jackson represents me? Right? We like when I talk about me versus talking about what the culture is looking for, those are two different conversations.
Yeah, but I'm going specifically on the premise of what AD laid out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's specifically what you
Culture.
went to a generalization. I'm
Yeah.
talking about specifically what AD was talking
That's what I said. Yeah, right. Because I said that's what I mean. You went specifically to reparations. That matters. If you don't look like a person, if you're not presented as a person of character, you should not be representing me when it comes to my quality of life. You're absolutely right. Absolutely, no doubt about it. When we talk about these types of things, we start picking apart people's lives
Yeah.
as if we're not the same people.
Yeah.
I think about the criticism for a young woman who was found having had an affair or having 5 husbands, and the Bible says when they had got done, they asked him again, and he lifted up his eyes and said, "He that is among you that is without sin, let him first cast a stone." We have to be careful of our judgmental disposition.
Yeah.
We got to be careful with that stuff, man. We got to be careful with this cancellation of people doing great things because they're imperfect.
Right.
But like I said, when does it count?
We're gonna dig into it tomorrow. We're gonna dig into it.
We're
We're gonna get into it. I know I let it
slide.
slide. So we're gonna dig into it. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you stay connected. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. If you've missed an episode or missed a broadcast and you want to listen to us on the go, make sure you check out the podcast. Check out the podcast. We're on every podcast app known to man. Most of them. So just honestly, what you can do is either ask Alexa, Siri, or what's Google, or
Hey,
ask
Google.
play Brothers of Legacy, and they will play Brothers of Legacy. Indeed.
Will Bixby
all right.
do it?
Huh?
Bixby?
Yeah, I think they all it should be wherever podcasts are, it'll come on. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same channel. Continue to be safe. Make sure you are prepared to vote if you haven't. Again, I've waited to the last minute, so I'm gonna be out there on the lines with everybody tomorrow. So I will be voting. I'm becoming live from the line. So we appreciate you guys again for being here. Continue to be safe, make good choices. 988. I don't care. 988.
They ran out of stickers when I got up to the front of the line. That's how many people.
You said they're out of stickers?
They ran out of stickers, man.
It says future voter.
Future voter. Oh,
that's all they had.
I'll take that.
I wanted
You
a
taking
sticker,
a
man.
baby?
I didn't know I was gonna be that disappointed by that. I really wanted a sticker. I'm serious.
Look, I got this one and I couldn't even put it on because I was mad.
Oh man! So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. 988. You or someone else is having a mental health crisis. Continue to support us. Continue to share, and we will see you in the AM. All right. Peace out.